another team, just to finish off, that I do want to discuss, the Oklahoma City Thunder. We've all agreed we haven't watched them too much, but they suck at sucking at the moment. And what I mean by that is they're in a position where they should be sucking, but they're just no good at it. They lost today to your Brooklyn Nets, Hayward, but before that they'd won 4 games in a row. So what do we think of OKC? Because to me, if they're going to actually have a crack at winning, and they're having a crack at winning because they've got winning players. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a winning basketball player. Josh Giddey is out there, even in his rookie season, making his teammates better. Lu Dort, defensively, is a stud. He's a winning player. He's a winning player on defense. He had that pickpocket against the Kings on the final possession, got the steal, took it to the other end, had the game winner. He's a stud defensively. He's a winner. They've got actually winning players on their roster. And I just wonder if, again, kind of like the Cavs, where we have to get to a point where they've got 20-odd first-round picks, whether they actually package them up for something, because they've got 20 first-round picks and their payroll is actually less than what John Wall's getting paid. And John Wall is on the bench doing nothing for the Houston Rockets. Yeah. He's getting paid $50 million, and the Oklahoma City Thunder total payroll is about $47. So they've got all the money in the bank. They've got 20 first-round picks. Do we at some point have to say, how about we use our salary? How about we use our picks? I've always thought they're a sneaky Ben Simmons option. You pair him next to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You pair him next to Josh Giddey. I don't know what what would appease the 76ers in return. Maybe you'd have to give Shai up, and if that's the case, he wouldn't do it. But if there's a way you could pair him with Shai and Josh Giddey, that's a serious 3-man combination right there to begin with. And they've got some guys there that, with those other, as I said, Josh Giddey makes his teammates better. And from my point of view, do we think that they should actually package something up and almost go away from this complete rebuild and think, yeah, we've got enough talent as is, let's just almost go for a playoff spot? Because right now, they're going for a playoff, well, they're not going for a playoff spot, but they suck at sucking, as I said. And the other thing I want to say before you guys go, Detroit had the opportunity to trade Cade Cunningham for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and pick 6, which could have been Josh Giddey, could have been Kuminga, whoever they wanted to take that was available at pick 6. And they decided not to do it. That could, in retrospect, now, Cade Cunningham could come out and be an absolute superstar, great player, better than Shai is and better than what Josh Giddey may become to be. But right now, if you gave me that trade option again and said, here's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Josh Giddey for Cade Cunningham, I'm doing it in a heartbeat. And I don't know if they might just come to regret that, to be totally honest. But what are your thoughts?
No, I'm really high on Cade Cunningham as a player, but okay. So
hang on. So can you just answer that question? If you had one hand Cade Cunningham and on the other hand Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Josh Giddey, you take Cade Cunningham.
Well, in hindsight, obviously it's not. Obviously, it's easy to say that. Obviously, you want to go the option with.
Well, it's not too much hindsight. We're 10 games in, but yeah.
We didn't think Josh Giddey would be how quickly he got into the NBA system. Yeah. And we weren't expecting this. I'm not going to buy into OKC's 2 of their games against the Lakers. They weren't supposed to win those games at all, and I think that's going to.
Well, they did.
Yeah, but
maybe that says more about the Lakers. But.
Yeah, it's more about the Lakers. I'm not going to buy too much into their winning streak, if you want to call this, but I think it's good more for culture-wise, because you're talking about Lu Dort as a winning player. Players like him are invaluable, I think. On championship rosters, I reckon there's a Lu Dort type of player. In the tough winning plays, not a very sexy style of basketball he plays. And if we've got players that make winning plays like he does, you've got your star like Josh Giddey is making those around him better. And SGA, how much did we talk about how the steps he takes as a leader for his franchise? He's realised, I'm the starting point guard. I'm going to be the face of this franchise. So if you're seeing a little bit of culture being built here, I think it's for the best. Actually, I think it's a great thing. That's up, and I'm not going to. I'm not going to buy into them winning many more games. Do
you know my problem though? Is that culture they're being built completely goes away when inevitably we get halfway through the season, say 50 games through, and they're all of a sudden 22 and 28 and semi-competitive. And then the front office is like, shit, we need a tank here so we get another high pick. All right, Shai, you've got a random ankle injury and you're going to sit the next 15 games. that's and all the culture you build up just goes down the drain because you basically that's what they did last season. They told Shea he had an injury just so he could sit games so they could tank. Is that building your culture?
I think Shea was injured, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's...
Horford, they just sat him, but I think Shea was actually injured.
I think OKC want to be very careful because I reckon there's been two trust the processes, Boston and Philly, and they've kind of died off. They haven't worked out in the end.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon OKC are going to be very, very careful in how they go about losing too long. And if they can start building these things, I reckon earlier on in their process, I think it's for the best.
Yeah, I don't buy the Thunder winning even 30 games this season. So I find it's a hard question for me to answer because I'm just not buying it. And because I also think their bigs are just like absolutely trash. So like unless they're going to be able to trade for one, I think they do need to go back to the draft and get themselves a big man because Pokusevski might be a unicorn, but he's nothing at the moment. And Baisley
he weighs 40 kilos. Really
yeah, exactly. And Baisley's not really NBA top level caliber. So yeah, I don't know. Because I find it hard to answer because I don't think they're any good, and I don't think they're going to keep being good this season. So
does Simmons classify as a big man?
I find that I do find that a bit awkward. Simmons, Giddey, and Shea on one team.
Yeah, you may be right.
Because when I watch Giddey, I go, oh, that's Simmons who's not afraid to shoot the ball. Like
yeah.
So it's just two
and less athletic,
next to each
obviously.
Other.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree with you to a point about them turning into being, no good this season, but I thought the exact same last season, and they, at the All-Star break, they hovered around a 500 record. They were actually competitive, and as I said, the front office had to find ways for them to start sucking.
Yeah.
So they could get another high pick in.
Yeah, Shea is just a winner, isn't he? Like
he is.
Good. He's really good.
And that's why I'm hesitant to say they're not going to win 25, 30 games. Because we saw that game against the Lakers where he hit that logo 3. He's a winner.
Yeah,
and
flat out.
I just wouldn't. You've just gave him a
Kyle Lowry a winner. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, he's a winner.
I
mean, last thing, you just gave him a 5-year contract. I just don't think you want to deprive him of trying to be successful too long. You've already got him in place. I don't think you have to keep going to the draft to get top 5 selections every season and put next to him. I think he and Giddey are almost enough. Maybe it's one more season and you try and get another top 5 pick. One more.
What do you mean by enough?
You don't need too much else.
What do you mean enough? Like enough star, like a young big 3?
Yeah, if they've got $100 million to go and spend in free agency, try and, instead of prioritising the draft, go out and actually get some guys you can put around. They don't have to be stars. Shea's your guy. Josh Giddey can be your second guy. Go and get some in free agency this season. Go and get some reasonable talent around, even if it means you have to overpay someone. Even if it means you have to give a $15, $20 million player $25 million. Like, they've got the money to spend, so why don't they just go and do that and try and be a winning organisation again with Shea there? I just don't think you have to necessarily go back to the draft. And who knows, maybe there's a player that becomes available that's not Ben Simmons, it's someone else who's a genuine fit, and you say to a team that maybe it's a team with one star, and that star wants to trade out, and they want to go completely reset, and you say, all right, we're going to give you 15 first-round picks. Completely offload your picks.
If you guys are to be believed with how much you think Peyton's pissed off, that's a fit.
That's a fit.
Yeah.
They should offer him the max in frenzy.
Yeah, but their max is like $40 million less than what the Suns can offer.
Yeah, well, no, not anymore because the Suns have missed their opportunity.
No, they can still offer him more next year.
Yeah, they get the match contracts.
Well, they're not going to though. If they're not going to give, they're not. I don't think they're going to. I think the Suns are just going to match whatever another team is willing to pay, which will be a 4-year whatever it is. And then who knows? Maybe there's a trade worked out. Now the Suns aren't going to be interested in picks, but maybe you get a third team involved. I don't know. DeAndre Ayton's a fit. Anyway.